Alright, hello everyone. This is Paul from SpanishWithPaul.com and welcome to this lesson. This time around we're going to be looking at something very useful in Spanish, which is how to express let me. So for example, let me see it, let me help you, let me know. Obviously these expressions using let me are great for everyday conversation because they flow very naturally. So I'm going to show you how to do this correctly in Spanish and give you lots of practice so that you can start using it right away. Now, as always, I'm going to be referencing things from my free 10-part mini course, which is also on YouTube. So if you haven't been through that already, I will put a link to it in the description, or you could simply type for this search term in the search bar. Now, as I'm going to be asking you lots of questions, remember to pause the video as we go along so that you can think out your own answers. This way you'll get the maximum value from watching this lesson. So that's all coming up next. If you'd like to download the course books for all my YouTube lessons and get a free account on Spanish with Paul, simply click the link in the description box below this video or visit SpanishWithPaul.com. You can also subscribe to my channel and get a free lesson from me every Monday. Okay, so the sound to express let me is déjame. Notice we have three syllables. De, ha, me. Déjame. And that means let me. What's the verb to see? Ver. So to express let me see, you would simply put them both together. So you have déjame for let me, followed by the verb ver. Déjame ver. What's the verb to speak? Hablar. So how would you express let me speak? Déjame hablar. Of course, you can soften this by using please, so it doesn't sound so forceful. So déjame hablar, por favor, for example. Now, once again, what's the verb to see? Ver. To express to see it, you of course would take the verb ver and add on the pronoun of lo to the end of it. So it would become verlo, to see it. Now, how would you express let me see it, please? Déjame verlo, por favor. What's the verb to think? Pensar. Of course, you could also use the verb creer, but for this example, we're going to stick with pensar. Now, how would you express let me think? Déjame pensar. If you wanted to say, let me think about it, what you will literally say in Spanish is let me think it. So they don't include anything for the word about as we would here in English. So see if you can get that on your own. How would you say let me think about it, but using this phrase of let me think it? Déjame pensarlo. So here we took the full verb of pensar, to think, just added on the pronoun of lo, and this is how you express think about it. Pensarlo. So déjame pensarlo. The word for okay in Spanish is actually the same as the word for good, which is bueno. So how would you express, okay, let me think about it? Bueno, déjame pensarlo. How would you say first in Spanish? Primero. Now express, okay, first let me think about it. Bueno, primero déjame pensarlo. How would you express, okay, first let me see it? Bueno, primero déjame verlo. What about, first let me speak? Primero, déjame hablar. What's the word for but? Pero. Now say, okay, but first let me see it. Bueno, pero primero déjame verlo. What about, okay, but first let me speak? Bueno, pero primero déjame hablar. What about this one? Okay, but first let me think about it. Bueno, pero primero déjame pensarlo. In Spanish, there are a number of different verbs to express to try. But the one we're going to use for this lesson is intentar. How would you express, let me try? Déjame intentar. Now, how would you express to try it? Intentarlo. Once again, we took the verb intentar and we just added on the pronoun of lo. So to try it, intentarlo. How would you say, let me try it? Déjame intentarlo. How do you express again? Otra vez. Literally, another time. Otra vez. Now, how would you say, let me try it again? Déjame intentarlo otra vez. Let me try it again, please. Déjame intentarlo otra vez, por favor. What about this? Okay, let me try it again. Bueno, déjame intentarlo otra vez. To express one more time, in Spanish this would be una vez más. Literally, one time more. Una vez más. So how would you say, okay, let me try it one more time. Bueno, déjame intentarlo una vez más. Okay, but first, let me try it one more time. Bueno, pero primero déjame intentarlo una vez más. Once more, how do you say again? Otra vez. Now say, let me see it again. Déjame verlo otra vez. Let me see it again, please. Déjame verlo otra vez, por favor. What about, let me see it one more time, please? Déjame verlo una vez más, por favor. So, once more, what's the word for first? Primero. Now say, okay, but first let me try it one more time. Bueno, pero primero déjame intentarlo una vez más. What's the verb to do or to make? Hacer. How would you express to do it? Hacerlo. So now, how would you say, let me do it? Déjame hacerlo. Let me do it, please. Déjame hacerlo, por favor. To express my way, in Spanish, this would be a mi manera. Kind of reminds you of my manner, in my way. So, a mi manera. How would you say, let me do it my way? Déjame hacerlo a mi manera. What about, let me try it my way? Déjame intentarlo a mi manera. Okay, but first, let me try it my way. Bueno, pero primero, déjame intentarlo a mi manera. Do you remember how to say one more time? Una vez más. Let me see it one more time. Déjame verlo una vez más. What's the verb to think? Pensar. Let me think. Déjame pensar. Now say, let me think about it. Déjame pensarlo. First, let me think about it. Primero, déjame pensarlo. Another phrase that's very useful and something that extends directly off of this idea is let me see if. Now, the word for if in Spanish is si. Notice that if you have si with an accent over the I, it means yes. However, without the accent, it means if. And it's exactly the same sound for both. So, how would you say, let me see if? Déjame ver si. Now, something we covered in the 10-part mini-series was this expression of I can. Do you remember what that was? Puedo. So how would you say, let me see if I can? Déjame ver si puedo. How do you express to do it? Hacerlo. I can do it. Puedo hacerlo. Now say, let me see if I can do it. Déjame ver si puedo hacerlo. To express for you, we have two different ways. However, for this phrase which we are about to do, we're going to use por ti. So for you, por ti. How would you say, let me see if I can do it for you? Déjame ver si puedo hacerlo por ti. The por in this example here is referring that a substitution is occurring. So instead of you doing it, I'm going to do it in your place. This is what the por ti is implying, a substitution. How would you say, let me see if I can do it one more time? Déjame ver si puedo hacerlo una vez más. Do you remember the word for later? Más tarde. This literally means more late, but it will be understood as later. Más tarde. How would you say, let me see if I can do it for you later? Déjame ver si puedo hacerlo por ti más tarde. Another verb we covered in our mini course series was to help. Do you remember what that is? Ayudar. Ayudar. So how would you say, let me help? Déjame ayudar. To express, to help you, you will take the verb ayudar and tag on the pronoun of te. So it will become ayudarte. This is assuming that we are speaking to someone we are familiar with, someone who is a friend. So, ayudarte. How would you say, let me help you? Déjame ayudarte. What about this? Let me see if I can help you. Déjame ver si puedo ayudarte. What's the verb to wait? Esperar. To express wait like as a command, it would be espera. Espera. So how would you say, wait, let me help you? Espera, déjame ayudarte. How do you say with? Con. And to express that in a neutral way, so we're not referring to any specific noun, the word in Spanish is eso. Eso. So how would you say with that? Con eso. Now say, wait, let me help you with that. Espera, déjame ayudarte con eso. What's the verb to finish? Terminar. So how would you say, please let me finish? Por favor, déjame terminar. How would you express to finish it? Terminarlo. So we have the verb terminar, and we simply add on the pronoun of lo. To finish it, terminarlo. Now say, let me finish it, please. Déjame terminarlo, por favor. So there you have it. This is how to use this idea of let me, which is incredibly useful for your everyday speech in Spanish. Now, don't forget to get your free account on Spanish with Paul by clicking the link in the description box or simply by visiting SpanishWithPaul.com. Also, subscribe so that you can get a new lesson from me every Monday. I look forward to seeing you next time.